And I mean, obviously it's subjective. There's no set. Even though the director comes out and says they were going for a certain thing, people can always make their own or gather their own takeaways from an art medium, especially something like cinema. So, all that to say that this is obviously just my opinion and what the film means to me. But I really, really like the character of Kay, and I feel like the film really went at lengths to just show that it really just depends on. It really just depends on what you do that makes you who you are. You know what I mean? So he's kind of going for this identity crisis of being, at first 100% thinking that he's a replicant, to afterwards thinking that he's, a hybrid, maybe half replicant, half human. To spoilers, if you haven't seen the movie, I don't know why you haven't, but to being shot down again. Huh?
Yeah, you gotta give it a sec to these people,
Oh yeah, spoilers. Go to some. I guess I'll just
go to and download it.
I am gonna have to bleep that out. I was gonna say go to whatever.
When you going there, if
no,
anything happens,
no,
use a VPN.
No,
that brings us to today's sponsor, NordVPN.
That brings us to today's sponsor, NordVPN. Get your free trial today. No.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say go to whatever timestamp.
ExpressVPN.
That brings us to today's sponsor, Surfshark. Get your free trial today. Download AFK Arena. But no. I forgot where I was.
So he was half replicant, half
Oh,
hybrid.
right. So yeah, he was lulled into kind of thinking that he was the son of Decker and Rachel, and then only to be shot down and realize, no, you're just a guy. You're not the main character. You're not that important. It doesn't matter. In the grand scheme of things, you're just another cog in the wheel. And I feel like the movie went at great lengths to show that, even though maybe that might be the reality objectively, if you want to put it maybe on a cosmic scale, if you want to put it that way, individually or in that group of people that you affect with your life, just taking away from the equation the argument of consciousness, of artificial intelligence and biological, but just putting it into that context of what is it, greater meaning. You can give yourself that meaning and define yourself by what you do. And I feel like Kay really tapped into that at the end of the film, where he, gave up his life for a greater cause to reunite Decker with his daughter, to save him and then reunite him with his daughter. And, he felt like that was what he had to, that was the most human thing he could do. And, it really felt like a payoff, like he got his, he found himself, he found his humanity at the end, even though it was pretty sad and I wanted to see more of him. He was a cool character. Even though, some people might say he's one-dimensional, but I feel like I connected to him on that level. But yeah, that's one of the big takeaways I got from the film, and it really stuck with me afterwards, regardless of the nostalgia blast that they say they overused in it and whatever. But that's a big reason why I really like the film.
I feel like when it comes to characters, a lot of people do throw around the term one-dimensional quite sparingly. When I first sat down and watched it, I found that his character was quite, yes, he wanted to get the job done, but there was lots of conflict in him. Because it is an understanding that many people do have, is I've got to do what I've got to do to make bread. It's like it's what a lot of basis behind people's existential crises are, is when they realize I don't have to be conforming. I am a person that I can do other things, and I don't have to rebel the place to rebel. I can do it in my own light. There are certain paths that you want to go down, and sometimes the choice that you make is what you believe in. If that makes sense, is that I'm just kind of build up on how you described him sacrificing himself.
Yeah.
To reunite the two of them. Like someone might say, like, one of my friends was saying that he could have kind of did more for the resistance side, like joined it, and like we could have had another Blade Runner where he's the head of it, or just get rid of Harrison's Ford character entirely. Don't need any reuniting going on there. But I kind of sit with you that I found there was a lot to relate to in his character.
Yeah, no, I the more I think about it, is the more I appreciated the angle that they took, because and I said that, but I don't think personally I don't think that he was a really one-dimensional character. Of course, like throughout the movie you'd see, I'm sure they would have told him, you need to be kind of emotionless, you need to be like the average Joe, just doing your job, getting by. But if you really look at the film, especially, right off the bat from the beginning, he's doing his job. He goes to Sapper Morton's place. He has to take him down or take him in. He does what he has to do. But then he gets back to the police department, and immediately you see the hate that he gets. And you kind of have to look at subtle cues. And this is something I love throughout movies. A lot of people, a lot of films especially, they don't take that into account, the show don't tell method tool. They're always trying to spoon feed audience everything like they're just they're babies. But a lot of people want to watch a movie and want to be invested in the story and invested in the characters and really get to know them on their own. And this is what a lot of Tarantino's films do. This is what a lot of Akira Kurosawa films did, or still do rather, like in Dersu Ozala. This is what Blade Runner does, where you have Kay, who doesn't really have that many surface expressions and emotions to speak of, but if you look at how he interacts and stuff, you could see that there's more going on within him, especially during these one-on-one scenes when he's talking to Joy. Oh, not Joy. Wait, yeah. When he's talking to Joy, his girlfriend, and when he's talking to the commissioner, I think she's the commissioner, when they're in the room, and she says, "What do you think would happen if I finish this class?" And then he gets up, he leaves. He doesn't want to continue the conversation. He doesn't want to answer the question. He like you said, he's having these conflicts, and you could see it pop up every now and again until it really bubbles to the surface at the end, when he talks to Decker's daughter, and he realizes, oh shit, I'm nobody, and then you see that kind of existential crisis bubble up to the surface. And it's ironic because he doesn't even notice how human he really is, or how, if you want to put it in this, how much of a real boy he acts like. How much of a real person that he is. He's just so caught up in this, his identity was just caught in that for a second, until he realized, oh wait, no, I could make my own story, regardless. So I'm on board with that explanation.
I mean, even the character of Joy as well, her becoming to some degree like a coping mechanism for him within this world. Because, like you were saying, how he gets ostracized at work, or like the treatment that he gets on a day-to-day that's just building up. It to return home to her
Yeah.
and to have that there, it you can replace that with anything that anybody else has that is watching the film. At the end of the day, you go home and you've got something that you can wind off, that you shut off and release.
Yeah. I mean, even
Whether
her.
it's someone else or sorry.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, like, even her character had a little bit of development as well, because she's like, you might say, a step beneath him as well in the hierarchy in society when it comes to humans, replicants, and AI programs. What did she say? I think they were looking at the DNA sequence of this is what my poor biology is gonna show, but I think they were like you could identify it with four letters are assigned to identify certain pairs. So like she was talking about the four letters that make up you, and then she made a remark about herself, I think, and then she was saying, and then Kay had to tell her, twice as elegant, because she's based off of binary code. So, just little things like that you could kind of see, was Joy really just telling him what, he wanted to hear, or did she actually love him,
That is a question when we do have AI. If the AI develops past a certain point where they actually do feel things that are outside of the programming.
Yeah, because I mean,
would they then believe that it's part of the programming?
Because I mean, it's interesting, because if you really think about it, when you look at human, because there's this whole argument about consciousness where it's like, is it a true expression of free will, or is it just based on our biological programming? Because our body runs like a machine, very much. Just we've got like meat. We've got meat in our bones, but it's electrical signals going up, stimuli coming in through the senses, through the sensory organs, and getting read by the brain, and then translated into the reality that we perceive. And we do things based off of chemical releases and stuff. Does that mean it's less real and it doesn't, no, it matters to us, we feel it. And it's a very real experience. But then when we think about, we define that as consciousness, even though that's a really broad topic that hasn't been, nailed down yet fully, as to a set definition of what constitutes true consciousness, if you could say that. So can we say the same thing? Can we apply that to artificial intelligence if we do get to the singularity, and then you have this machine that's questioning its existence and is becoming attached to things and learning on its own and making connections with I don't know, with people and stuff, and they say, I've got a friendship. Can we say that's not real because you're just going off of complex programming? Well, what are we doing?
Yeah. What is output?
This went way off the rails. We were going from memeing our favorite movies and got to DNA based pairs and the deeper levels of cognition.
but that's what's beautiful about Blade Runner 2049. If you really sit down and think about it,
yeah,
you can find yourself in these questions. I mean, most films do tend to try and bring that out, but it's not as easily done as people might think. There are lots of subtleties that are overlooked. You can straight up throw that at the forefront of the film, but then it's overlooked because you're trying to send that message out. Or like, okay, yeah, well, what is the meaning of life?
Yeah.
What's our place in the universe? But when you throw it into a film like in Blade Runner, you end up questioning it more in depth, and you talk about a lot more, relate to it a lot more, because
I say like
that's what life is.
Yeah. Once it's relatable, and I mean, once the film leaves you with more questions than you came in with. I mean, not all the time. You know, there are always those woke films who are just trying to be cool for who are just trying to like red pill, for the sake of red pilling, where it's kind of like, all right, I see what you're doing. It's cringe. Stop. But there are those films who put those things out there, and you know, it's super relatable to real life, and anybody could fit themselves in the character's shoes. And when you get those films that leave you thinking about it even after you've left from viewing it, you know, I feel like those films really strike a success, in my mind at least. I was trying to think of ones that do that. I would recommend for any film buffs out there that you do check out. If you haven't seen it yet, check out Blade Runner. Check out Inglourious Basterds. Check out I was gonna say Underdog. No, check out Downfall. It's I want to say it's a German film, but I think it's a Swedish film. I can't really remember, but it's in German, about the fall of Nazi Germany during World War II, and what led up to the events leading up to it on the German side, inside of Hitler's bunker. And I think it's told from the perspective of his secretary at the time, for the most part. And it's a really good film. And I'm making yet another Nazi reference. I could have brought up
like I know we make lots of like references to it, but it's something that particularly dominated media and culture, especially in the 2000s to like the 2010s. Like there was just a mass research of it. It's very inescapable. Yeah.
Which is why any high school kids from that time just have a treasure trove of World War II and Nazi knowledge in their head, but can't do their taxes or tell you how to get a mortgage. Yeah. But yeah, no, it is a really good film, and I highly recommend it, if not to just see and understand the cognitive dissonance that people can go through. And you know, that it is a real thing. And I mean, you could even see parallels within the recent US election that just happened on the side of the GOP, and certain things that have been going on, certain conflicts of interest based on the Biden win that just happened. And you kind of see the breakdown of these people when essentially things just aren't going your way, and you've had a rhetoric of reality that just hasn't been based on objective fact, and what that can do to the people at the higher levels, what that can do to the people who are being fed the information, so i.e. the voters, and how that whole mix. And I'm not just bashing on the right wing. There are problems on both sides. I'm just pointing to the if you want to put it, the copium overdose that's been happening, and how dangerous that sort of mentality can be when put into a situation where you have that sort of absolute power. Just to realize the human aspect of it, not to pardon what happened or pardon the officers or what they did, because it's obviously wrong and we never want to go back there, but to understand the psychological aspect of, you know, when you sit down and you think, how the hell could people bring themselves to do these horrid things? You know, how do you overlook all these things that are happening when any rational, moral person within this modern society would say, oh, that's evil? You know, it's a really interesting take to see from the other side, and just, you know, just for maybe purely academic reasons. Yeah.
Another good film to look at for that is the Death of Stalin.
Yeah.
It's comedy film taking a spin on Stalin's death, but doused in historic facts. You really get to see like the fear that people lived in under Stalin, but then just the pure chaos that would have led to for them, and why they did what they did.
Yeah, those flip views are always interesting ones. I haven't actually seen that one just yet. I have to get on my game and watch that.
You are in for an absolute watch that.
In real life, though, didn't he get screwed because he got so paranoid that he fired all his... Well, not fired, but I think he either exiled...
Well, you know, yeah, he sent all of them out to Siberia.
All the medical professionals and stuff. And then he ate shit in his bed.
So he had a heart attack.
Yeah.
Right? And then after he had the heart attack, the guards that were standing outside heard it.
Yeah.
So they heard him collapse, but they wouldn't open the door.
Oh.
Because they were so scared of him.
Oof.
Like it wasn't until the morning when the cleaner had come in to bring him food.
Yeah.
That his body was found. So that was like a whole 8-9 hours.
Wow.
Of potential life-saving ability. And then when they finally got him medical attention, because he had gotten rid of all the doctors that were good, they were like, well, we literally only have the worst doctors available. It's ridiculous, and it's just like the fact that he's done this stuff, like his own son, for example, like hockey team that they had.
Yeah.
They were on their way to a game and the plane crashed. But planes don't crash under the Russian, under the USSR. So they tried to keep it a secret from him.
Wow.
And that's his own son being head of the hockey team.
Yeah.
Trying to train a newly established hockey team. Because their other son was sent to Gulag and died. So it's like everybody under him lived in there.
Damn.
And he kind of fucked himself over in so many ways.
Yeah, it definitely is an interesting mix of events. I haven't I don't think my knowledge on Stalin's role is that extensive, but I do know that it makes for a very interesting case study.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just him. I mean, Pol Pot as well had something similar where I think it's rumored that, or I'm not sure if it's rumored or if it's fact, but everybody that had glasses was seen as being of intelligence.
Yeah.
So they were exiled or executed.
Damn.
And that goes round to fucking as well.
It's fucked up, dude.
Yeah.
How did we get here from favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Not.
we get all the way here from favorite movie where we're just like, yeah, what's your favorite movie? Well, you see, socialism, pure socialism and democratic socialism are two separate things, which is why I think that Bernie Sanders really gets a bad rap, to be honest.
I mean, if you really want to go to Bernie Sanders, yeah, political streak, we can go
I
into
really don't see how you could fault Biden for wanting to or say, put words in his mouth and say that he wants to defund the police. He picked a DA for his VP. I don't understand. But yeah, favorite movie. I said, wait, have you said your favorite one yet?
Nope.
Oh wow. It's taken us like 50 minutes to get through one question. But yeah, go ahead, sweetie. Go ahead, honey. What's your favorite film? What do you like?
So my old favorite film